Our entire generation is logging in at 8 a.m. and logging off at 11 p.m. so that our boss just knows that we are on our laptops. Are you generating Indias of slaves or do you want to generate Indias of leaders? On my deathbed, I would not want to remember those long Zoom calls that I had with my boss or those draining PowerPoint presentations. In fact, once my manager asked me this question, Shatakshi, why do you happen to dislike the long working hours so much? What kind of a question is that? As a management consultant, on one particular day, I had ended my work at 6 a.m. and was back at the client site at 9 a.m. This was not just one day, this had almost become a norm for 2 days in a week. That is how many hours I was clocking back then. I was brain dead, I was exhausted, I was nauseating on 3 cups of coffee every day, even though coffee still remains one of my favorite beverages. Though my manager and partner were extremely kind to me and thanked me for my time later, but the situation with the client didn't change much. Unfortunately, in India, we have this attitude कि 1 रुपए भी देंगे तो 1000 का वापस निकलवाएंगे. Such extreme working hours had become a weekly affair on that project. In fact, the fact of the matter was while I had gotten 3 hours of sleep, my manager had got absolutely none. I think he was just surviving on 1 hour of sleep every day. A very smart guy. But in the hindsight, I feel that it was the manager's way of demonstrating his commitment to the work and the organization. Beyond his years spent in consulting, I think he was just used to that time and used to that style of working as well. To be extremely fair, I wouldn't paint the entire consulting industry with a broad brush, as I was fortunate enough to work with few amazing managers and partners who would ensure managing timely wrap-up and creating a work culture. I, however, have been extremely clear and candid, and I've viscerally and tactfully expressed my discontentment with such live draining working hours and style. I'm sharing this with all of you because I know most of you are clocking in such live training hours and live training style. They just happen to massage few people egos typically in corporate. But at the end of the day, largely they do not contribute net positive to either the client or to any individual's growth. In fact, once my manager asked me this question, Shatakshi, why do you happen to dislike the long working hours so much? I was appalled by the question. What kind of a question is that? So the thing is, I've never accepted fitting in normal work culture just to get social proof. Many a times we go on with the wind. We go on to accept the normal working culture just because everyone else around is doing it. But just because 99% of the folks are idiots doesn't mean that you'll have to add to that idiocracy. I've never found merit in following the herd behavior. Maybe that is the fundamental behavior that you need to become an entrepreneur. You're a contrarian. You like to question things. If something is abnormal, then it must be changed slowly and tactfully. In fact, late nights may be needed, but it should never be accepted as a working ecosystem or at a working culture. The industrial age time and again has made all of you and us believe that it is all right to slog. But then I question, this is 2024. Are we in industrial age or are we in knowledge age? Today, frankly, in India's knowledge economy, one needs to learn the right things, perform smartly. You should always question on productivity, never on the hours that you get in. What kind of productivity that you generate after studying or working every hour? Then just have a clock and then keep on clocking it from your home to office and office to work. Our entire generation is logging in at 8 a.m. and logging off at 11 p.m. so that our boss just knows that we are on our laptops. I have a cousin, he's working in IT industry. He has developed this tool so that his mouse is always moving, even though he's not sitting in front of the laptop. And a lot of Indians are jugadu like that. And it is just inhuman, right? His mother is now finally concerned that my kid or my son is clocking in so many hours. My parents for the first time got to know how much hard work I was doing when I was finally working from home. But then my question is that much hard work really needed? Are you generating Indias of slaves or do you want to generate Indias of leaders? Working all night and consistently may make your team work along with you, but those late nights do not show any commitment, or it should not be an honor or a badge to have or a superiority to have. It is perhaps a badge of incompetence of a leader or maybe of your productivity. So in a world where we are glorifying people who are working 70, 80 hours every day, be from Elon Musk to 12th fail, we need to become smarter human beings. What is our productivity? How many questions are we able to get it right? What is our mental wellness? What is our happiness question? I'm not the most experienced person, of course, on this planet. There are more smarter people, but I'm 30, I'm leading a team of 50, and I have a very, very long life ahead of me. And I have indeed cracked few of the competitive examinations in India and abroad as well. But there is one thing, and just one thing why I'm very, very clear about. It is that on my deathbed, I would not want to remember those long Zoom calls that I had with my boss or those draining PowerPoint presentations. I want to remember the long walks, the happy dinners, and the time spent with my loved ones rather than those Zoom calls. And I'm very sure that is what you all want to have with your loved ones as well. So trust me, the world will go on absolutely fine without these live training tools.